Welcome to the Zoe English Podcast. Let's improve your English together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zoe English Podcast. I'm Zoe.
And I'm Oscar. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you today.
How are you doing, Oscar?
I'm doing really well, actually. I just came back from the grocery store.
Oh, really? Was it a good trip?
Well, it was a little stressful, actually. I stood in the store for 10 minutes, completely lost, looking for pasta.
Oh, no. In the middle of the store?
Right in the middle. I walked up and down every single aisle.
That's such a classic moment for English learners.
And the strangest part is, I actually know a lot of these words. I just froze when I had to say them out loud to a real person.
That's such a common feeling. Reading and speaking really are two different skills.
Exactly. In my head, I knew, excuse me, where can I find the pasta, but my mouth just wouldn't say it fast enough.
I think almost every English learner has felt that exact freeze at a checkout line or in front of a store employee.
So today, we want to fix that feeling completely, aisle by aisle.
That's right. Today, we're talking about shopping and grocery store English.
We're going to teach you over 150 useful sentences you can use at any supermarket, grocery store, or shop.
From walking in the door to asking for items to paying at the checkout, we're covering everything.
Whether you're buying vegetables, asking about prices, or returning something, you'll know exactly what to say.
This is such a practical topic. Everyone goes shopping, no matter their job or where they live.
And before we start, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying Zoe English Podcast, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this episode with a friend who's learning English.
It really helps us keep making these free lessons for you.
Okay, Zoe, are you ready to go shopping?
I'm ready. Let's start at the very beginning. You walk into the store. What's the first thing that happens?
Usually, an employee near the entrance might say, "Hi, welcome in," or "Good morning. Let us know if you need anything."
And you can simply say, "Thank you," or "Thanks, I will."
Simple, but polite. Now, let's say you're looking for something and you can't find it. What do you say to a staff member?
The most common phrase is, "Excuse me, where can I find..." For example, "Excuse me, where can I find the pasta?"
You can also say, "Do you know where the rice is?" Or, "Could you tell me where the dairy section is?"
Dairy means milk, cheese, and yogurt products.
Good word. And to be even more polite, you can say, "Sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for..."
That phrase works everywhere. It shows respect for the other person's time.
Now, what if the item isn't in that aisle? What does the staff usually say?
They might say, "It's in aisle 5, or "It's at the back of the store," or "It's next to the bread."
What does aisle mean exactly?
An aisle is the long path between the shelves, so aisle 5 means the 5th row of shelves.
Got it. And sometimes they say, "Follow me, I'll show you." That means they'll walk with you to the item.
Very kind. You respond with, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it."
Now, let's say the item is completely gone. What do they say?
They'll say, "I'm sorry, we're out of that right now," or "We're sold out of that item."
Sold out or out of stock. Both mean the store doesn't have it.
Right. And you can ask, "When will you get more?" Or, "Do you know when it will be back in stock?"
Good question to keep in your pocket. Now, what if you want to check by phone before you even go?
You say, "Do you carry organic eggs?" Or, "Do you have gluten-free bread?"
Carry here means to sell regularly. If a store carries a product, they normally have it.
Different from carrying a bag.
Completely different meaning.
Okay, let's talk about carts and baskets. Small topic, but really useful vocabulary.
When you walk in, you might say, "I'll grab a cart," or "Let's get a basket."
Grab means to quickly take or pick up something.
If you only need a few items, take a basket. If you need a lot, take a cart. In British English, that's called a trolley.
Nice difference between American and British English there.
Sometimes carts are locked together outside, and you need a coin to unlock one. You can say, "Do you have a coin for the cart?"
And what about when two carts almost crash into each other in a narrow aisle?
That happens to me constantly.
You can say, "Oh, sorry about that," or "After you," which means you go first.
After you is such a polite phrase. It works at doors, in lines, everywhere.
True. Okay, now let's move to something more specific, the fresh produce section.
Produce means fresh fruits and vegetables sold in the store. Really important word.
In the produce section, you often need to check if something is fresh. You might ask, are these tomatoes fresh?
Or, how fresh is this fish? And the staff might say they just arrived this morning, or these were delivered yesterday.
That's reassuring to hear.
And sometimes you check the quality yourself without asking anyone. You might say to a friend, this avocado feels too hard.
Or, this banana is a little too ripe. Ripe is such an important fruit word. It means the fruit is ready to eat.
And overripe means a little too ready, maybe soft or starting to go bad.
You can also say, this melon smells really sweet, which usually means it's ready to eat.
Great tip. Smelling fruit is actually one of the best ways to check.
And sometimes the produce section gives you cooking ideas on the spot. You might say, this looks so fresh, let's make a salad tonight.
Or, I wasn't planning to buy peppers, but they look great, let's grab a few.
This kind of spontaneous decision happens to me all the time in the produce section.
You might also ask a staff member, do you have any recipe suggestions for this vegetable, if it's something unfamiliar?
Some stores even have little recipe cards near the produce, especially for less common vegetables.
Nice touch. And if you're trying something new, you could say, I've never cooked with this before. Any tips?
Great, friendly question that often leads to a really helpful answer.
Now, what if you want a specific amount, like not too many, not too few? You say, can I get 3 apples, please? Or, I'll take a small bunch of bananas.
Bunch is used for bananas and grapes. A bunch of grapes, a bunch of bananas.
And for things like carrots or herbs, we sometimes say a bundle of carrots.
Good distinction. Okay, Oscar, I think that's a strong start. In the next part, let's go deeper into the produce and everyday food sections.
Sounds perfect.
Let's continue with the produce section because there's actually a lot more useful vocabulary here.
Right. Let's talk about weighing fruits and vegetables. In many stores, you weigh your own produce before checkout.
You might see a sign that says, please weigh your produce, and there's a scale nearby.
What do you say if you don't know how to use the scale?
You can ask, excuse me, how do I weigh this? Or, could you help me weigh these onions?
And the staff might explain, just place it on the scale and press the button for the item.
Simple once you know it. Now, what about buying things in bulk?
In bulk means buying a large amount, usually to save money. Some stores have a bulk section with nuts, rice, or dried fruit in big containers.
You'd say, I'd like to buy this in bulk, or do you sell rice in bulk?
And sometimes buying in bulk is actually much cheaper per item.
True, it's a smart shopping strategy. Now let's move to the meat and seafood section.
This section often has its own counter with staff behind glass.
You can say, could I get half a pound of ground beef, please? Or, I'd like 2 chicken breasts.
Ground beef means beef that's been chopped into small pieces. In British English, it's called mince.
Another nice American versus British difference.
And if you want a specific cut of meat, you might say, do you have any lean cuts? Lean means low in fat.
Good word. Or you might ask, can you slice this for me if you want thin pieces?
The person behind the counter might ask, how thick would you like it? And you can say, thin, please, or a little thicker, please.
Very practical. Now, for seafood, you might ask, is this salmon wild-caught or farmed?
2 important words there. Wild-caught means caught in the ocean naturally. Farmed means grown on a fish farm.
Good to know the difference if you care about that.
Let's move to the bakery section now. This is one of my favorite parts of the store.
Of course it is, Oscar.
The smell of fresh bread is just amazing. You might ask, is this bread baked today?
Or, could I get a fresh loaf of sourdough? Loaf is the word we use for a whole piece of bread.
You might also want something sliced. You can say, could you slice this for me, please?
And if you want a cake for a birthday, you might ask, can I order a custom cake?
Custom means made specially for you, with your own choices.
Great word. Okay, let's talk about the dairy section now. Milk, cheese, yogurt, eggs.
You might ask, do you have any lactose-free milk? Lactose-free means it doesn't contain the sugar found in milk that some people can't digest.
Good health-related vocabulary. Or you could ask, which cheese would you recommend for a sandwich?
Recommend is such a useful word here. It means to suggest something good.
You can use it everywhere in the store, actually. What would you recommend?
True. Now, for eggs, you might see labels like free range or cage-free.
Free range means the chickens can walk outside, not just stay in a cage.
Good to understand those labels because they're everywhere in grocery stores now.
Let's talk about the frozen food section next. This is usually pretty big.
You might say this is still frozen solid, meaning it's completely frozen, hard as ice.
Or, I need to let this thaw before cooking.
Thaw means to become unfrozen, to warm up naturally.
Good cooking word. You can also say, I'll pop this in the freezer, which means to quickly put it in the freezer.
Pop is very casual and common in everyday speech. I'll just pop it in the microwave, for example.
Nice. Now let's talk about the snack and drink aisles, because everyone has opinions about snacks.
Definitely. You might say, I have such a sweet tooth, which means you love sugary food.
I have a huge sweet tooth. I always end up in the cookie aisle.
Same here, honestly. And you might say, these are on sale, let's grab a few.
On sale means the price is reduced, cheaper than normal. We'll talk more about prices soon.
For drinks, you might ask, do you have this in a bigger bottle? Or is this juice 100% natural?
Good question, especially if you're checking ingredients. Before we get to labels, let's not forget the non-food aisles. So many learners forget these words completely.
Good point. Things like cleaning supplies, toiletries, and paper products.
You might ask, excuse me, where's the laundry detergent? Or which aisle has the toothpaste?
Toiletries is the general word for things like soap, shampoo, and toothpaste.
Good umbrella word. You might also ask, do you sell trash bags here? Or I need some paper towels.
And sometimes you need household items like light bulbs or batteries, which some supermarkets also carry.
You'd ask, do you have AA batteries? Or is there a hardware section?
Good to know because bigger supermarkets often surprise you with what they carry.
True. Now, one more small but useful phrase if a product is on a high shelf and you can't reach it.
This happens to me constantly. I'm not very tall.
You can say, excuse me, could you grab that for me? I can't reach it. Or just ask a taller stranger nearby, sorry, could you help me reach that?
Most people are happy to help with something so simple and easy.
Definitely. Okay, now let's talk about reading labels. This is such an important skill.
You might say, let me check the ingredients list, or I need to check if this contains nuts.
Contains is the key word for allergies and food safety. Does this contain dairy? Does this contain gluten?
Very important phrases, especially for people with allergies or dietary restrictions.
If you're shopping for kids, you might ask, is this a good snack for children? Or does this have a lot of added sugar?
Added sugar means sugar that's put in during processing, not the natural sugar already inside the fruit.
Good distinction, especially for parents trying to keep snacks healthy.
And if you're buying something spicy, you might ask, how spicy is this exactly? Or is this too spicy for someone who doesn't like heat?
Heat, in this context, doesn't mean temperature. It means how spicy the food is.
Fun double meaning. This sauce has a lot of heat, means it's very spicy, not hot in temperature.
Good one to remember, especially if you're buying sauces or hot peppers.
We'll go deeper into dietary questions in the next part because this is such a common situation for shoppers today.
Perfect. There's a lot more to cover. Okay, let's talk more about dietary restrictions and special diets because this comes up all the time now.
Right. If you're vegetarian, you might ask, is this suitable for vegetarians? Or does this have any meat in it?
And if you're vegan, you'd ask, is this completely plant-based? Plant-based means made only from plants, no animal products at all.
Good word to know. And for people avoiding gluten, you say, is this gluten-free? Or do you have a gluten-free option?
Option is a nice word here. It just means a choice or alternative.
If you have a food allergy, it's really important to be direct. You can say, I'm allergic to peanuts. Does this product contain any?
That's a clear, safe way to ask. Staff will always take that question seriously.
I actually have a friend with a severe nut allergy, and I've seen how careful she is at the bakery counter.
What does she usually say?
She always says, I have a severe nut allergy. Is this baked in the same area as anything with nuts?
That's such a smart, specific question. It's not just about ingredients, but also about cross-contamination.
Exactly. Cross-contamination means when a safe food accidentally touches or is made near an allergen.
Really important word for anyone managing a serious allergy. It could genuinely save someone's health.
And staff almost always appreciate when someone explains their allergy clearly and calmly, instead of just saying no nuts quickly.
And if you're not sure, you can say, I'm not sure if this is safe for me. Could you check for me?
Great phrase, especially at a bakery counter or deli, where staff might know more details.
Speaking of the deli, let's talk about that section. It usually has sliced meats, cheeses, and prepared salads.
You might say, could I get a 1/4 pound of turkey, sliced thin?
Or, I'd like some of that potato salad, please. Maybe 1/2 pound.
And if you're not sure how much to order, you can ask, how much is in 1/2 pound, roughly?
Roughly means approximately, not exact. It's a useful word for estimating.
Very useful. Now, let's talk about comparing products, because shoppers do this constantly.
You might say, what's the difference between these two, pointing at two similar products?
Or, which one is better quality? Staff will often give an honest opinion.
You could also ask a friend shopping with you, which brand do you usually buy?
And they might answer, I always go for this one. It's my favorite. Or, honestly, I've never tried that brand.
Good natural conversation there. Now, what about asking for a recommendation when you don't know a product at all?
You say, I've never had this before. What does it taste like?
Or, is this good for beginners? If it's something like a spicy sauce or a strong cheese.
And the staff might say, it's quite mild, or it's actually pretty strong. Be careful.
Mild and strong are opposite words, really, useful for describing taste.
Good pair to remember. Now, let's talk about a really common situation, asking for a substitute.
Substitute means a replacement, something you use instead of another thing.
You might say, what can I use instead of butter? Or is there a substitute for this ingredient?
And someone might answer, you could try coconut oil instead, or olive oil works as a substitute.
Very practical, especially when you're cooking and missing one ingredient.
Now, let's talk about organic food, because this word comes up so often now.
Organic means grown without artificial chemicals or pesticides. You might ask, is this organic? Or what's the difference between organic and regular?
And someone might explain, organic is usually grown without pesticides, but it's often more expensive.
Good vocabulary. Pesticides are chemicals used to protect crops from insects.
Useful word, especially for shoppers who care about health and farming methods.
Before we move on, let's talk about a slightly different kind of shopping, the farmer's market.
I love farmers markets. Do you go often, Oscar?
Every weekend if I can. You might say, is this locally grown, or did you grow this yourself?
Locally grown means grown nearby, not shipped from far away. It's a very popular phrase now.
And farmers markets often allow a bit more casual conversation. You might say, this looks amazing. How do you usually cook it?
Great question, because farmers are often happy to share cooking tips for their own produce.
You might also ask, can I try a sample? Many stalls offer small tastes before you buy.
Sample is such a useful word. A free sample, a small taste to try before buying.
And if you love something, you can say, this is delicious. I'll take a whole basket.
The best kind of shopping decision.
Now, let's shift to a slightly different topic, shopping with a list.
Do you make a shopping list before you go, Zoe?
Sometimes, but I always forget it at home.
Classic. You could say, I made a list, but I left it at home, or let me check my list real quick.
And if you're shopping with someone, you might say, can you grab the milk while I get the bread?
That's called dividing tasks, and it saves so much time.
True. Or you might say, I think we're missing something. Let me check the list again.
And at the end, you might say, I think that's everything, or did we forget anything?
Very natural, everyday phrases. Now, let's talk about a funny but common situation, forgetting your reusable bags.
Oh, this happens to me all the time. You might say, I completely forgot my bags again.
And the cashier might ask, would you like to buy a bag? Or do you need a bag?
You can respond, yes, please, I'll take one, or no thanks, I can carry it.
Simple, but it happens at almost every checkout.
Speaking of checkout, let's slowly move toward that direction because we still have prices and discounts to cover first.
Perfect timing. Let's take a short breath and dive into prices next, because this is where a lot of learners feel unsure.
Definitely one of the most important parts of shopping English.
Okay, let's talk about prices. This is probably the most common thing you'll say in any store.
The simplest question is, how much is this? Or how much does this cost?
You can also point at something and just say, "How much?" It's short, but it works perfectly fine.
And if you want to know the price per item, especially for fruit or vegetables sold by weight, you ask, how much per kilo or how much per pound?
Good specific question. And you might also ask, is that the price per item or per pack?
Per is such a small word, but it's really important. Per item, per pack, per pound, per kilo.
True. Now let's talk about discounts and sales, because everyone loves a good deal.
You might see a sign that says, buy one, get one free. We often shorten that to BOGO.
That's such a common promotion. You might say, "Oh, look, this is buy one, get one free. Let's grab two."
And you might see a sign that says 20% off or half price.
Half price means 50% off the normal price. Great deal if you find it.
You could say, this is on sale, so we should stock up. Stock up means to buy a lot of something because it's a good time.
Great phrasal verb. Let's stock up on rice while it's on sale.
Now, let's talk about coupons. What do you say if you have a coupon?
You'd say, "I have a coupon for this," or "Can I use this coupon here?"
And the cashier might say, sure, I'll scan that for you. Or, sorry, this coupon has expired.
Expired means the coupon is no longer valid. The date has passed.
Important word because expired coupons happen more often than you'd think.
Now let's talk about loyalty cards and membership cards, because many stores offer these now.
You might be asked, do you have a loyalty card with us? Or are you a member here?
You can respond, "No, I don't have one." Or, "Actually, could I sign up for one?"
And they might explain, you'll earn points with every purchase, or you'll get special discounts as a member.
Points here means a kind of reward. The more you shop, the more points you collect.
Good system to understand, especially for regular shoppers.
Now let's talk about something a little tricky, negotiating or asking for a price match.
This mostly happens at smaller shops or markets, not big supermarkets, but it's still useful.
You might say, "Is this your best price?" Or, "Could you do any better on this?"
And they might say, I could knock off $1, which means to reduce the price by a small amount.
Knock off is such a natural phrase. Can you knock off 10%?
Now, at bigger supermarkets, price matching is a bit different. You might say, I saw this cheaper at another store. Can you match that price?
And they might check and say, "Yes, we can match that," or, "I'm sorry, we don't offer price matching."
Good phrase to have ready, especially if you shop around for deals.
One more useful situation. What if an item has no price tag at all? You can ask a staff member, "Could you do a price check on this for me?" Or, "Excuse me, this doesn't have a price. Could you check for me?"
And they might use a small scanner and say, this one is $4.99, or let me check on that for you, one moment.
Sometimes at the checkout, if an item scans at the wrong price, you can say, "I think this rang up wrong. It was on sale."
Rang up means the price that appeared on the register. It's a very natural phrase at checkout.
Good one to remember, especially if you're watching the screen carefully.
Now, let's talk about paying for a large amount versus a small amount.
You might say, "I'm just picking up a few things," meaning a small, quick shopping trip. Or, "I'm doing my full weekly shop," meaning a big shopping trip with everything you need for the week.
Good phrase, weekly shop. Very natural in British English especially.
And if your cart is very full, someone might joke, "Looks like you're stocking up for winter."
I've heard that joke so many times.
It's a friendly, common thing to say when someone's cart is really full.
Let's also talk about smart, budget-friendly shopping because a lot of our listeners care about saving money.
Great idea. One really useful phrase is unit price. That's the price per single unit, like per ounce or per gram.
You might say, let's check the unit price to see which one is actually cheaper, even if two items look similar.
Smart tip, because bigger packages aren't always the better deal.
True. You might also compare generic versus brand name products. What's the difference?
A generic or store brand product is usually made by the store itself and it's cheaper. A brand name is a well-known company.
You could say, I usually buy the store brand. It's basically the same thing. Or, I prefer the name brand for this one.
Both totally normal opinions. Everyone has products they're picky about and others they don't care about.
So true. You might also say, let's set a budget before we go in, meaning deciding how much to spend beforehand.
And if you go over budget, you might say, "I think we overspent a little this week."
Overspent means you spent more than money you planned.
Good word to know, especially at the end of a big shopping trip.
Okay, I think we've covered prices really well. Let's move toward the checkout process next because that's the final and maybe most important part.
Yes, let's go pay for our groceries.
All right, we've got our cart full. Now it's time to head to the checkout. First, you need to find a line, or a queue, as they say in British English.
You might ask, is this line moving? Or which line is shorter?
Good practical question, especially when you're in a hurry.
And sometimes you'll see a sign that says 10 items or less. That's the express lane for people with just a few items.
You might ask, is this the express lane? Before joining the line. Good idea, because some stores are strict about that rule.
Now, once it's your turn, the cashier might say, "Hi there, did you find everything okay?"
This is such a common question. You can answer, yes, I did, thank you. Or, actually, I couldn't find the olive oil.
And if you couldn't find something, the cashier might call someone to help or point you in the right direction.
Very helpful. Now, they'll start scanning your items. You might hear, that'll be $45, or your total is $32.50.
$32.50 means $32.50. We often drop the word dollars and cents when speaking quickly.
Good listening tip, because numbers can go by fast at checkout.
Now, they might ask, how would you like to pay? Or cash or card?
You can answer, I'll pay by card, or cash please, or do you accept mobile payments?
Mobile payments means paying with your phone, like Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Very common these days. And if your card doesn't work, the cashier might say, I'm sorry, this was declined.
Declined means the payment didn't go through. It's not always your fault. Sometimes it's a system error.
You could say, that's strange, let me try again. Or, I have another card, one moment.
Good, calm phrases for a slightly stressful moment.
Sometimes, while you're waiting or paying, the cashier makes small talk. This is really normal in English-speaking countries.
They might say, busy day today, huh? Or finding everything all right?
You can respond casually, yeah, pretty busy, or just a quick trip today.
And if the weather's bad outside, they might say, crazy weather out there. And you can just agree. I know, right? It's freezing.
Small talk like this isn't about deep conversation. It's just friendly, quick, and warm.
Exactly. You don't need perfect grammar for small talk. Just a relaxed, natural response is enough.
Great confidence tip for anyone nervous about talking to cashiers.
They might also ask, any big plans this weekend? Just to be friendly while they're scanning your items.
You can answer simply, not much, just relaxing, or actually, we're having a small family dinner.
You don't need to share a lot of detail. A short, honest answer is completely enough.
And sometimes you might be the one to start the small talk, especially if you're waiting a bit longer than usual.
You could say, looks like it's a busy day for you, which is a kind, understanding thing to say to a tired cashier.
Really thoughtful. A little kindness goes a long way, especially for people working long shifts.
Now, let's talk about bagging your groceries. In some countries, the cashier bags everything for you.
In others, you bag your own groceries. You might ask, should I bag these myself?
Or the cashier might say, would you like paper or plastic?
You respond, paper please, or I brought my own bag, thanks.
Good phrase for eco-friendly shoppers who bring reusable bags.
Sometimes you might ask, could you double bag this? It's heavy. Double bag means putting one bag inside another for extra strength.
Great tip for heavy items like bottles or cans.
Now, what about self-checkout? This is becoming more and more common now.
At a self-checkout, a machine might say, please scan your item, or please place item in bagging area.
And if something goes wrong, a message might say, unexpected item in bagging area, and you need help. You can say, excuse me, I need some help with the self-checkout, and someone will come assist you.
Very useful phrase because self-checkout machines can definitely be confusing sometimes.
They really can. Now, once you've paid, the cashier or machine will usually say, would you like a receipt?
You answer, yes, please, or no, thanks, I don't need one, or could you email it to me instead?
Many stores now offer digital receipts by email or text message.
Nice modern option. And finally, they'll say something like, have a great day, or thanks for shopping with us.
And you respond, you too, thank you, or thanks, have a good one.
Have a good one is such a casual, friendly way to go by.
Really natural. Now, let's talk about online grocery shopping and delivery, because this has become so popular now.
You might say, I ordered my groceries online this week, or I'm waiting for my delivery.
And when the order arrives, you might say, the delivery just arrived, or let me check if everything's here.
If something's missing, you'd say, I think an item is missing from my order, and you can usually get a refund.
Refund means getting your money back for something you didn't receive or didn't like.
Very important word for online shopping. We're almost at the end of our shopping trip now, Oscar.
We are, but there's one more really important topic, returns and exchanges. Let's cover that next.
Okay, let's talk about returns and exchanges, because sometimes you buy the wrong thing, or it just doesn't work.
If you want to return something, you'd say, I'd like to return this, please, or can I get a refund for this?
The staff might ask, do you have your receipt? This is really important, so always try to keep it.
You'd answer, yes, here it is, or I'm sorry, I lost it. Is that okay?
And sometimes they'll say, without a receipt, we can only offer store credit.
Store credit means money you can only use in that store, not real cash back.
Good word to know, especially if you shop without keeping receipts often.
If you want to exchange something instead of returning it, you'd say, can I exchange this for a different size?
Or, this one is damaged, can I get a replacement? Replacement means a new one to take the place of the broken one.
Very useful, especially for things like electronics or packaged food that arrived damaged.
Speaking of electronics, some bigger supermarkets, like supercenters, also sell clothes, electronics, and even furniture.
True. In those sections, you might ask, do you have this in a medium, or is there a fitting room nearby?
Fitting room is where you try clothes on before buying them, also called a changing room in British English.
Good to know both terms, since you might hear either one depending on where you are.
And in the electronics section, you might ask, does this come with a charger, or is this compatible with my phone?
Compatible means it will work correctly together with something else. Really useful tech word.
Great word for shopping in almost any big store these days, since so many now sell a bit of everything.
Now, let's talk about expiry dates, because this is such a common thing to check while shopping. You might ask, what's the expiry date on this? Or, is this still good?
Is this still good? Is such a natural, casual way to ask if food is safe to eat.
You might also see the words best before on packaging. That's a little different from expiry date.
Right. Best before usually means the quality might not be perfect after that date, but it's often still safe. Expiry date, or use by, means it might not be safe after that date.
Good distinction, especially for things like milk and meat where safety really matters.
You might say, this expires tomorrow, let's eat it soon. Or, this is already expired, we should throw it away.
Very practical, everyday sentences for anyone managing a kitchen.
I actually had to return something last month, a blender that stopped working after 2 days.
Oh no, what did you say at the counter?
I said, hi, I bought this blender here 2 days ago and it stopped working already. I'd like a refund, please.
Very clear and direct. What did they say?
They asked, do you have your receipt? And luckily I did. Then they said, no problem, I'll process that refund right now.
That's exactly how it should go when you stay calm and have your receipt ready.
It really helped that I explained the problem clearly, instead of just saying, this is broken.
Great example for our listeners. Being specific always makes these situations go faster and smoother.
Definitely a good habit to build.
Now, let's talk about a slightly stressful situation, complaining about a product.
If something was bad quality, you might say, I'm not happy with this product, or this doesn't work properly.
And staying polite is really important. You could say, I'd like to speak to someone about a problem I had.
Staff usually respond well when you stay calm and clear. You could add, I bought this yesterday and it's already broken.
Very clear and specific, which always helps solve a problem faster.
Now let's slow down and talk about a positive situation instead, thanking staff for great service.
Much nicer topic. You could say, you've been really helpful, thank you so much, or I really appreciate your help today.
Small, kind words like that can really brighten someone's day, especially in a busy store.
True, and you might also say, this is my favorite store because the staff are always so friendly.
Beautiful way to end a shopping trip on a positive note.
Okay, Oscar, I think we've truly covered every corner of the grocery store today.
We really have, from the entrance to the checkout and even returns afterwards.
Let's take a moment now to review some of the most useful vocabulary words from today's episode.
Great idea. This will really help everyone remember the key words.
Okay, let's go through some of the most important words from today's episode.
First word, aisle. This means the long path between shelves in a store. The rice is in aisle 3.
Second word, produce. This means fresh fruits and vegetables. The produce section is near the entrance.
Third word, ripe. This means fruit is ready to eat. These bananas are perfectly ripe.
Fourth word, in bulk. This means buying a large amount, usually for a lower price. I bought rice in bulk this month.
Fifth word, lean. This means low in fat, usually for meat. I prefer lean cuts of beef.
Sixth word, thaw. This means to become unfrozen. Let the chicken thaw before cooking.
Seventh word, on sale. This means the price is reduced. These snacks are on sale this week.
Eighth word, expired. This means a coupon or food item is no longer valid or safe. This coupon has expired.
Ninth word, declined. This means a payment didn't go through. My card was declined, so I tried another one.
Refund. This means getting your money back. I asked for a refund because the item was broken.
11th word, substitute. This means a replacement for something. You can use yogurt as a substitute for cream.
12th word, store credit. This means money you can only spend in that same store. Without a receipt, they gave me store credit instead.
13th word, locally grown. This means the produce was grown nearby, not shipped far away. I love buying locally grown vegetables.
14th word, unit price. This means the price per single unit, like per ounce or per gram. Always check the unit price before you decide.
15th word, generic or store brand. This means a cheaper product made by the store itself. I usually buy the generic brand to save money.
And our 16th word, overspent. This means you spend more money than you planned. We definitely overspent on snacks this week.
16 really strong, practical words. If you learn these, you'll understand almost any grocery store conversation.
Now, let's quickly review everything we talked about today, section by section.
We started at the entrance, learning how to ask staff where items are and how to talk about carts and baskets.
Then we moved into the produce, meat, bakery, and dairy sections, learning words like ripe, lean, and free range.
After that, we talked about dietary restrictions, comparing products, and asking for recommendations or substitutes.
Then we covered prices, discounts, coupons, and loyalty cards, which are so useful for saving money.
Finally, we walked through the checkout process, bagging, self-checkout, online delivery, and even returns and expiry dates.
When you break it down like that, it's really not overwhelming at all. It's just one shopping trip, one step at a time.
And honestly, you don't need to use fancy or complicated English at the grocery store. Short, clear sentences work perfectly well.
That's such an important point. Where's the milk is just as effective as a longer, more formal sentence.
Native speakers actually prefer short, natural phrases in everyday situations like this. It sounds more confident, not less.
Great reminder for anyone who feels like they need perfect grammar before they can speak.
Exactly. You don't need to memorize everything today. Just pick a few phrases and try using them on your next shopping trip.
That's the best way to make these sentences feel natural. Practice a little at a time.
Now it's time for our favorite part, the question of the day.
Yes, our question today is, what's one phrase from this episode that you'll use on your next trip to the grocery store?
Maybe it's, excuse me, where can I find? Or maybe it's, is this on sale? Or even, could I get a refund for this?
Write it in the comments below. Tell us the phrase and maybe even tell us what you're planning to buy.
We read every single comment and we love learning what you're working on.
If this episode helped you feel more confident about shopping in English, please give it a big thumbs up.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to Zoe English Podcast and click the bell so you never miss a new episode.
We post new English conversation lessons regularly, all designed to help you speak naturally and confidently.
You've done such a great job listening to this whole episode. That takes real dedication.
Keep practicing these phrases, even just a few a day. Confidence comes from practice, not perfection.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes at the store. Every conversation, even a small one, helps you improve.
That's exactly right. Every excuse me and every how much is this is a small win.
Well said. All right, everyone, that's all the time we have for today.
Thank you so much for learning with us. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, take care.